Hey there, YouTubers. We're going to talk today about the Easy Boardwalk Junior sawmill. I purchased this sawmill 2 years ago in the fall, so I've actually owned it for just over 2 years. It has been a solid saw, easy to work. We're going to go over today some of its key features and also some modifications that I've added that make life a little easier. Alright, originally it came with a Honda 11 horsepower engine. I am currently, right now as we speak, upgrading it to an 18 horsepower Chonda, as I call it, a Chinese Honda. Not for any other reason than I just want to be able to saw wood a little bit faster. The 11 horsepower has probably that it comes with, the Honda, is served me quite well, started every time, but if we look out here, you can see in the distance some white oak logs, and I've got a lot of wood to mill, so I decided I would get in there and change it out. This is Buster, my boxer, who is helping me, as you can tell. Anyway, some key features on this saw. First of all, the thing comes, when you buy it, fully assembled. It's all welded construction with really high quality, every fitting imaginable. Has got, like this bolt here, it's got a grease nipple on it. He's got pillow block bearings, large pillow block bearings for the wheels. You can change the blades out in a second, because let me pull this off. Your covers are just attached by this little strap, and they sit down on those two pins with rubber grommets. He uses the same size wheels, these 19-inch diameter wheels, in both the junior and the bigger Easy Boardwalk, which is, this saw will do a 30-inch, the other will do a 40-inch. Now both of those are manual sawmills. As I'm just doing this for my own, but I'll show you how much wood I've milled with it. So yeah, I'm cutting a lot of wood with it, and it's just for my own, mainly for the beehives, but I floored my new addition with red oak flooring. But anyway, back to the saw. So a few key things, and right now this is you have with this saw. One is this drop leg blade catch, and you can lift this with this cable and get it out of your way in case you got a limb or something. Those are designed to come in and catch on these lifters. I know I saw in another video people complaining that that lifter would miss and they'd hit the saw blade. That's what this is designed to do, is these, a little improvement, it'll actually come in and catch, so you don't have to worry about sawing into your clamps, which the clamps, your log dogs, comes with two of them on the junior. They work really well. My only complaint with them is when you come out to way out here and you're trying to clamp a log, is that like Buster, my dog, gets in the way. We've got a little bit of problem. Sometimes I can have problem with clearance on if I'm clamping really low. Most of the time I'm not doing that, but you see when you're clamping about 2 inches high, you got to swing. That's the only complaint I have on these clamps, and you can work around it. I figured out some cheats if I do have that problem. Let me put this cover back on, and so that's the clamping system. You've got two stops over here, which I'll get into the first upgrade. So I added these ball bearings because I wind up doing some pretty large logs, and it's really nice if you got especially an out around log, to have something so they don't rub against this, so you get a little bit, that makes it a little bit easier to turn. So I bought this machine. This thing cost me, I got the extra fence, which is an extra 5-foot section of rail. I should have called it fence, it's actually railing. I got an extra 5-foot section of railing, 12 blades with it, all for an even $5 grand, which you really can't beat for the quality on this machine. Okay, the other first thing you'll notice on this machine is that the blade is set 15 degrees at an angle from the track. And what this does, it actually pulls itself along as you're sawing. It's a pretty cool thing. And this is the only saw I know that does this. And the nice thing about it, besides pulling, it also means that you're cutting sideways into knots and certain things. So, and if you're into softwood, it can actually help your blade track a little bit straighter. Where if you hit a hard knot, you know, it's coming in. Like I said, it just it means there's also more of the blade is in the wood at one time. Now he recommends, the guy, this is Amish built, really great guy. He recommends 3/4 blades. I have switched to 7/8. I have both. The 7/8 operate a little bit better on that 11 horsepower because you don't have quite so much blade dragging at once because you got less teeth. Anyway, we'll go back to other key features on this saw. Is the adjustment on the blade tension. I can change a blade out in 2 minutes, and I've run a wood miser and it takes me about 5 minutes to change a blade out on the wood miser. This one, he's got a simple system that's preset with a spring. He's got a couple of knots set, and all you do is you just tighten this up until you hit the stop, which is right here. So it's real quick, real easy. It's spring loaded. There's not any guesswork to it, and you don't have to have a fancy tension scale. But all right, the best thing I love about this saw is the adjustment. So unlike a lot of saws of this size or this price range where you have things you have to clamp and do all this crazy stuff, he has this beautifully designed pulley, and it basically just has a belt on the back side and a spring load, and to adjust you can let it drop on its own and stop it. And here's your scale right here, and there's a score on that plexiglass, and when it takes out the number, you've got it precisely located. It's real fast, real easy to adjust, easy to read. Matter of fact, I've got a little magnetic light. Sometimes I'm out here sawing a little too late, and I'll put that light, whoops, I'll clip this light with this magnetic base to light up my scale when I'm running behind schedule. The oiler is automatic with this is your engagement on the blade. When you do it, he's got a system here, and this puts your blade lube down into the blade. The other thing, the only thing I found, so he's got a cover on, as you see right there by Buster's head. See that cover is to keep sawdust off of it, because the saw just throws all of its dust to the left of the machine as you're facing it from the rear. Well, this is one of the mods I just finished doing, which is I added a 1/4 inch piece of stainless steel cable with a set screw, and I welded it in, and you can hear, if you listen real close, So that stainless is now scraping that wheel. I only had a problem with sawdust buildup running pine. Running high rosin, sappy pine, you wind up with a buildup there, and eventually you don't get a smooth run on your track. Some other things, modifications I've done. So the two tracks connect by 2 bolts, but there's some leeway, and I was finding that the tracks were wind up getting moved a little bit. You load a heavy log, it shifts things. So what I wound up doing just the other day is I ran a couple of beads. I could still cut those beads off, but basically it keeps that thing anchored. I don't have to worry about the track shifting on me. Now, let's see, the last thing, and so the blade lube goes right here, a can. I just don't have it on right now because, like I said, I'm mounting this new engine. Other things,